Hello and welcome to Paranormal Lens, hosted by Jott-Nyx Paranormal. I'm Kirstin Trucano, and joining me tonight is Jamie Widener and Chad Thomas.
Hello.
Hey,
How are
Kirstin.
you? Hello. How are you guys doing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're here.
All is well. All is well.
Yeah.
good.
What's
Uh,
happening with you?
I mean, I've been tired all day, but that's normal. So having a baby who decides 3 a.m. is a great time to wake up and party.
They're getting started early,
That's all.
10 months old, it's time to party.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, she's driving.
Jamie, stop it. Stop it.
I'm going to go here every day, every time we do
Every
this.
time.
16 comes. So,
Don't you dare.
it's funny, like how the sleep schedules are different for different people. And she's uniquely herself by now. So, and some of us are late nighters and some of us are early morningers and some of us are nappers and some aren't. So, she's just got her own rhythm. It's cool.
Yeah,
It would be best if it would align to yours, of course, but
it would be great, but it's fine.
Yeah, that very seldom happens.
yeah.
So, but anyway,
What you guys do this past week?
worked, packed, and then Saturday night I spent with a bunch of weird people who like walking around in the dark talking to themselves.
Oh, I'm sure they're weird.
Uh-huh.
I may resemble that remark.
But the three of us plus some friends took a trip to the Clifton Theater in Huntington, Pennsylvania, and had some interesting experiences. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we sure did.
It's the first time that I've used a device and had Spanish come through that was translated to English for us. We used an app on the phone, and two of us were using the app and had the same thing happen. So I thought that was really interesting. Alex was with us, and he heard Spanish in his head. Like he does not speak Spanish. He's half Filipino, but does not know any of the languages of or Spanish or anything like that. And he said he had these Spanish words running through his head and didn't know what to do with them. But it was very interesting.
That was also the same time where him and I had the woman in the back row that was sitting there,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep. Now,
both pretty sure the Spanish was coming from her.
did you see her, or do you like?
So I saw her silhouette. I don't know if Alex saw more features on her. I saw a silhouette in the chair,
Mm-hmm.
and then you sat on her.
Not
No,
not me.
Jamie sat on her.
Not me.
It was Jamie.
Oh, did I? Okay.
Yeah, you did.
How rude of me.
But yeah, no, that was interesting because earlier that's where we had the old man that we saw.
Right. Was that the grumpy old man?
Yeah, it was a grumpy old man,
So
but not the same one that was in Theater One.
Yeah. So to be clear, there's the Clifton Five has 5 literal theaters in it. One and two are one. I should say 1 and 3 are movie theaters. Theater 2 is a stage, and 4 and 5 are also movie theaters. So there were 2 shows playing in theaters 1 and 3 while we were starting to get set up and a little bit of our early investigation, and a bit of a pitfall because of a water leak in an upstairs unit above the theater that caused Theater 4 to have some water damage and a bit of a drop ceiling issue.
hmm
Um, so it was a bit unusual overall, but because there's activity happening in the theaters, but theaters are pretty isolated in the sense that they are soundproofed and so forth. So our early adventure in Theater 2, which is the stage, was where you speak to mostly here. And me being the unsensitive person, I was sitting to
You got very muffled.
Oh, sorry. How's that? Sitting in house right, very near the front, and I really felt like somebody had just walked up and stopped right beside me. And I assumed it was one of you guys, so I turned, of course, to look, and there is no one there. So hence I came over to you and asked, what was if you had any experiences, and apparently sat on someone who might have been with you there. So sorry, but that that entirety of that time and the Spanish language part of it was happening here as well, or at least beginning to happen here. One of our guests is a native speaker, and that was to me was probably the more interesting thing because when these devices activate and so forth, we traditionally get English as
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
are programmed that way. I wasn't even aware that Spanish could come through or would be shown coming through. So quite a curious thing. And then she was translating, and then the translation that you were getting literally on the device were spot on to each other. So,
Mm-hmm.
which should be, I guess, but sometimes there's dialect variances and things. So that was really curious as well that we were getting it at all.
I think the only other time I've actually seen another language come through was Matt at Boobies had a Phasma box,
Hmm.
and it was German coming out, which made sense
Made
because of
sense, right? The
they're
Bavarian
all from
heritage.
Germany.
Yep.
So to get that here now of Spanish, it was very interesting to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Our good friend Bert saying, "Hello, we need to investigate. I'm starting to twitch."
It's okay.
Okay, we got you, buddy. We'll figure it out
Yeah.
It's okay. One day.
soon. Well, and the rest of the evening was still productive as well in other areas of the theater. Um,
Yeah.
just curious stuff happening. And Theater
Um,
4 specifically to me comes to mind to me because of the tripwire that we had set up in the middle of the aisle. Was akin to me of an experience we had the last time, at least last time I was there, with a longer version of that tripwire setup and all of the lights activating, and we were able to get that to happen again. So there was some repetition to the engagement,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it was spawned around a conversation around love of theater, and the escapism that theater creates, and the joy and such, the passion, energy that is in the theater rooms. Whether it be a movie theater or a stage theater, either way, it's
Right.
just, and that was really interesting to me that came back again. I was really fascinated by it, and it's cool to see. You feel
Mm-hmm.
like you got a connection.
I feel like Theater One was what stuck with me the most.
Hmm.
Um,
You were literally stuck.
literally. So to start this, Chris, Alex, and I wanted to try and see if we can find how to get up to the balconies, and we were told, "Oh, you go through Theater One." So we find a door that leads to a hallway that leads to a sketchy-looking ladder to go up to the balconies, which are kind of styrofoamed off, so you can't really see out of them. But we all went back down, and we forgot to close the door. And as we are going back through the theater to leave, both Alex and I are literally like stuck. Like we cannot move. Like Jamie had to walk over and push Alex.
Yeah, and you
And
said out loud, and I can speak to the outside of this. You say this like I'm stuck, and Alex agreed, and I'm like, "Oh, what's that mean?" And I looked at both of you, and you literally looked like you were frozen in the space you're in the moment, the movement of the moment. And it was like, okay, this is weird. Like, I mean, they're messing with us. And then, but you stood there, and if you were, and I'm not saying you are, but if you were, you carried it forward, for quite
mhm,
a while. So my first reaction was to push one of you, and if I knew if I pushed you, you'd probably punch me. That was
most likely.
yeah. So Alex would seem like the safer bet. And in doing so, once I did, even then, it took a second for him to kind of come back to himself,
Yeah.
just in the moment again. And I don't know what got you out of it, but maybe that was the catalyst. I don't know. But that was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in an investigation with in fact, two people at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even when we went back in and we started going towards that door again, it felt like it took so much energy for me to move forward.
Hmm.
And I'm still. Some of my theories was there was someone that didn't want me to go back to the hallway again.
Sure.
So, and that's kind of why I'm thinking that second time it was so much effort for me to move forward. It finally got to a point where I'm like, I just need to sit. So I ended up just kneeling on the ground, like, this is it. This is, I'm here for now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But
And all this time, I was up in the projection booth, not getting anything.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but Bert wants to know: did you go under the stage?
So we didn't really go under the stage. We went under the building.
Yeah, we did something different. So let me speak to this. So we did try, Bert, and the floor panel that comes up to open the door, the mini door that goes under the stage, was actually secured to the floor this time. So I think they got wind that you might be coming, and they didn't want you to break anything with your head. So as you did last time, or I'm kidding, of course, but no, I think it's now because of safety and the low ceiling in there. That's just a secured thing, and that makes sense that it should be realistically.
So what you're saying is, next time we go, I need to bring my screwdriver,
just need a
my
screwdriver,
electric screwdriver. Okay.
Yep,
So
exactly that.
I mean, we
It's all
did
over
find a tiny door in the basement.
it's the same size door actually as the stage door. It was
It's
about
just,
the fact that Jeff, who is what 6'3" or so,
yeah, he's tall.
could shorten himself quickly and scooch through that doorway was impressive. Um, but
I was
that whole
impressed.
thing, the basement itself, is diminishing in height as you move from the front of the building to the back, and it's very much the way it is under the stage that way. Just low clearance. You're kind of squat walking, and it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter as you go. There was just it's that's uncomfortable. First of all, for people to do, but that tightness also makes it feel like something strange is going on. And the further back we went, the more heavier it felt. So luckily, and I'm too old to crawl around in places anymore, but luckily it was enough for us to experience that to think, okay, maybe we should go back.
hmm
I need to mess with the photo a little bit more because I did take a photo while in the basement as we were like moving back more.
Okay.
And it's dark, but I know if I brighten it up, I feel like I'm gonna see something in it. Just because I'm staring at the photo, I'm like, there's something in this photo, and I just can't see it yet.
Interesting.
Sure.
So
So
It's
well,
entirely possible.
so, well, let's giving a shout out to the Clifton Five. It is a wonderful space. They are in desperate need of people coming in and investigating and coming in to see just movies or whatever. But they're wonderful people. We got to spend a good bit of time talking to Dave Peoples, one of the owners. And he wants to keep the doors open, and he's struggling. So if you get a chance, if you're in the central Pennsylvania area, mid-state near State College, go over and visit, say hi. They'll give you a tour. If you don't have time to investigate, they'll let you walk through and take a tour. When Alex and I got there, someone had been walking through and said they felt a couple things as they were walking around. So
I'd go back there in a heartbeat. I like it.
I'm looking forward to the next time already. Absolutely.
So yeah. So yep, wonderful people there.
Yes, agreed.
Absolutely.
So
And a neat place. If you're into history, it's got it. If you're into the paranormal, it's got it. If you just like movies, it's got it. So go get it.
Ghost to movies, perfect.
oh, I
Do you
wonder
think they were liking Michael Jackson?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
The Spirits. Do you think they were enjoying watching Michael Jackson?
Maybe.
That's one of the movies.
Yeah.
Could be.
The Michael
Mummy.
biopic, yeah, is playing.
So you got to wonder how many times you're sitting in any movie theater, and you're sitting there with a ghost watching with you. So.
It's true.
And
Here's
Bert says, I think 15 minutes in, and Bert has the road trip comment.
Yes.
So,
Let's go road trip.
But I don't think we're talking local for tonight's episode, though, are we? I think we're going further away than that.
No, we're going a little bit more farther away. Bert, you're going back to Scotland and Ireland and Wales. So we're going to talk about some Celtic legends. Now, I'm going to start by this. There's a lot of different myths and legends and folklore. So kind of like the United States, this is going to probably be a multi-part thing. Whenever I decide I don't have any other ideas for an episode, where I'm just going to pull out some more nice little Celtic legends. But, and with that, I'm also going to apologize, Bert, if I say some things wrong. You have every right to be disappointed in me.
Well, Kirsten, I covered this a couple times in episodes. We're going to American it up a little bit,
The puka.
and ask for grace and forgiveness, with no offense intended.
One of the cryptids, I was very thankful that they actually gave me the pronunciation, because the spelling does not look like how you pronounce it. So
Cool.
we're gonna get right into it. Celtic folklore is crowded with creatures that do not simply haunt the night, they explain it. These beings gave shape to storms, loneliness, death, dangerous waters, and the strange feeling that the world might be staring back at us. Tonight's journey moves through Ireland and Scotland, through the bogs and the lakes and the sea cliffs, exploring 5 legendary beings: the shape shifting puka, the murderous lake beast known as the Duwarku, the deadly water horse called the Kelpie, the tragic and beautiful Selkie, and finally the screaming omen of death, the Banshee. Each creature reflects a fear and warning, or a longing buried deep beneath the Celtic culture. Some are monsters, some are misunderstood, some might be both. So let's begin. We're going to start with the puka. The puka, sometimes spelled Pooka or Phooka, is one of the most famous creatures in Irish folklore. It is a shape-shifting fairy spirit known for chaos, deception, and unpredictable behavior. Unlike many mythological creatures that remain fixed in one form, the puka constantly changes shape. Legends describe it as appearing as a black horse with flaming eyes, a goat, a dog, a fox, a hare, a wolf, and even a human with animal traits. One thing almost always remains constant: dark fur or shadow like coloring. The image most associated with the puka is the black horse, sleek, silent, waiting near lonely roads like a nightmare parked beneath the moonlight. The puka is not purely evil. This is what makes it unsettling. Sometimes it helps farmers, sometimes it warns travelers of danger. Other times it abducts drunken villagers for a terrifying midnight ride across the countryside. Many many stories begin the same way. A person leaves the warmth of a pub late at night. Fog curls the road, a magnificent horse appears, and the rider climbs on. That's a huge mistake. The horse bolts into the darkness, racing over the hills, through bogs, across cliff sides, laughing with wild supernatural energy, while the terrified rider clings on for dear life. Usually, the victim survives, but afterwards they remember only fragments. The cold air, the terrifying speed, the laughter in the dark, and, and the certainty that something unnatural carried them away. The puka seems to thrive on humiliation, confusion, and fear rather than outright murder. The puka is deeply tied to agriculture and the Celtic seasonal calendar. It is especially associated with autumn, harvest season, Samhain, and rural isolation. In some regions, farmers left part of their crops untouched as an offering to the puka, believing it could either bless or curse the harvest. This dual nature is important. The puka represents the unpredicted side of nature itself, helpful one day and destructive the next, a spirit of wild fields and untamed land. Now, there's some darker interpretations. Not every story paints the puka as playful. Some traditions describe it as bloodthirsty, dangerous, even capable of hunting humans. The contradiction is common in Celtic folklore. Creatures are rarely divided neatly into good and evil. Instead, they behave like storms, sometimes beautiful, sometimes powerful, impossible to fully trust. The puka embodies uncertainty itself. So, with that being of the puka, we're going to move to the next Celtic legend, and that is the Dúchar Cú. Now, this is the one I'm very thankful they had a pronunciation for, because I would not have said that looking at the spelling. So, if the puka is eerie, the Dúchar Cú is pure nightmare fuel. The name roughly translates to water hound or hound of the deep. Imagine a creature somewhere between a giant otter, a wolfhound, and a crocodile. The description says it can grow 7 feet long, with incredible speed both in water and on land. Some call it Ireland's answer to the Loch Ness Monster. Others call it much worse. Unlike the folklore creatures that merely scare humans, the Dúchar Cú actively hunts them. Legend says it drags victims underwater and devours them. One terrifying detail repeats across stories. There's usually two. When one dies, it releases a shrill whistle that summons its mate to avenge its death. The single detail transforms the creature from an animal to a horror movie antagonist. You do not merely survive one encounter, you inherit another. The most famous Dúchar Cú tale comes from 1722 in the county Leitrim. Leitrim? Bert, I'm so sorry. A woman named Grace Connolly went to Glendale Lake to wash clothes or bathe. She never returned. Her husband Terence later found her mutilated body beside the lake. Lying across her corpse was the beast itself, asleep after feeding. In grief and rage, Terence killed the creature with a dagger. But as it died, it released its whistle. Then came the second one. What followed sounds cinematic. Terence fleeing on horseback, the creature chasing him for miles, a blacksmith preparing himself for battle, the second beast charging straight through the horse. At the last second, Terence drove the sword through its head. So, that is the one of the most known stories of this creature. But what makes this legend especially fascinating is that Grace O'Connelly's grave actually exists. Her tomb reportedly contains the carving of the creature that killed her. That physical object blurs the lines between folklore and history. Did people truly believe the attack happened? Absolutely. And in many rural communities, belief matters more than scientific proof. Even today, sightings continue. Witnesses have described dark shapes moving unnaturally through lakes, creatures with orange flippers, haunting screeches echoing across the water. The Dúchar Cú has become part cryptid, part folklore, part national ghost story. It survives because humans remain deeply unsettled by deep water. After all, lakes hide things beautifully.
So
Speaking of,
I was gonna say, Bert said, "Glad we didn't run into that while we were there."
I would be terrified.
And he did. He said they also did see sea otters in Scotland.
Were they sea otters or were they the Dúchar Cú? Just the little ones.
You never know.
Maybe.
Maybe. But speaking of water and lakes and deadly, terrifying creatures, we're going to move to the Kelpie, which my favorite of all the Celtic legends.
Is that because it looks like a horse?
It's because it looks like a horse, and I would be the one that would be dumb enough to hop on the Kelpie.
Bert said they were pretty big, so they weren't. I think he's going back to the Duarku.
Oh, I know that he was. I'm telling you, maybe it was the Duarku's babies. There's always two. But anyway, the Kelpie, one of Scotland's most feared supernatural creatures. But I'm American, Bert. I will call them a lake, not a loch.
That's Heather, but yeah.
Oh, Heather. All I saw was a lynch. It's fine. They're one person, basically.
Oh. Anyway, moving on to the Kelpie.
Anyway,
All about the Kelpie.
let's talk about the Kelpie. The Kelpie is one of Scotland's most feared supernatural creatures. At first glance, it appears harmless, a beautiful black horse, calm beside the river, waiting patiently. Travelers, normally children, would approach the horse and climb onto its back. Then the trap springs. The rider suddenly finds themselves stuck fast, unable to dismount as the horse changes and charges into the deep water, drowning them before dragging the body underneath the surface. The Kelpie is essentially a predator disguised as trust itself. Many folklorists believe that the Kelpie personifies dangerous waters, floods, drowning, strong currents, hidden depths. Scotland's landscape is filled with lochs, rivers, storms, and cliffs. Water is Water was both life-giving and deadly. The Kelpie turned those fears into creatures people could understand. Parents likely use these stories to keep children away from dangerous riverbanks, with sayings of "don't go near the water" becoming more effective when the water owns horses. Like the puka, kelpies can also appear human. Usually they take form of handsome men, but there is always a giveaway. Seaweed tangled in their hair, water dripping from the clothes, or strange reversed hooves hidden beneath them. The small wrongness appears constantly in Celtic folklore. Monsters are often almost human, but not quite, like reality wearing a crooked mask. Though usually deadly, some stories describe kelpies being captured and forced into labor. One legend tells of a kelpie helping build a bridge after a man subdued it using a magical bridle. Even in these stories, though, the kelpie remains dangerous. Cooperation never fully removes its wild nature. The water spirit can be useful, but never safe. So, with that, again, I'm loving. I kind of realized I had a water theme going on a bit, except for our last creature. But we're moving to the Selkies. They're known as seal people. Compared to the Kelpie or the Duar Ku, Selkies are tragic rather than terrifying. Selkies are seals that can remove their skin and become human on land. The word Selkie comes from the Orcadian term for seal. In the sea, they appear as an ordinary seal. On the shore, they become extraordinarily beautiful humans. The most famous Selkie story follows a haunting pattern. A man spies Selkies dancing under the moonlight. He steals the seal skin of one of the women before she can return to the sea. Without her skin, she is trapped, and she marries the man. And they have children. As years pass, the Selkie never stops longing for her ocean. Eventually, the hidden skin is discovered, often accidentally by one of her children, and the moment she touches it, she returns to the sea forever. Selkie stories feel strangely modern because they explore forced relationships, homesickness, identity, freedom versus obligation. The Selkie wife often loves her children deeply, but the sea calls louder. There is no true villain in some versions, only sadness. The husband loves her, the children love her, but she was never meant to remain on land. The tension, the tension gives Selkie myth emotional weight, missing from many monster stories. The Selkie continues appearing in literature, music, film, romantic fantasy. Unlike many creatures, Selkies invite empathy. They are liminal beings, half wild, half human, belonging fully to neither world. A seal watching from the distant waves becoming a symbol of longing itself. And now we're to the last of the cryptid legends. The Banshee. It may be the most famous Celtic spirit of all. Her name comes. I lost myself for a second. Sorry about that. Her name meaning woman of a fairy mound. She is not a killer. She's actually a warning. The scream of a banshee means someone is about to die. And what does a banshee actually look like? That depends entirely on the story. Some describe a beautiful young woman with flowing hair. Others describe an old crone in rags. Still others claim she appears headless, carrying a bowl of blood. One detail stays constant. Her eyes are red and swollen from the endless weeping. The banshee is a the banshee is grief made visible. Who hears the banshee? Folklore disagrees that some believe only ancient Irish bloodlines could hear her. Others believe only the person about to die can hear the scream. Some stories portray her as vengeful, others portray her as compassionate. In certain traditions, the banshee mourns because she cares for the family she follows. Her scream is not celebration, it is sorrow. The banshee reflects on humanity's oldest fear, the moment before death. Not death itself, the waiting, the uncertainty, the sound in the dark that tells you something irreversible is approaching. Unlike monsters that attack physically, the banshee attacks emotionally. She transforms grief into atmosphere. And perhaps that is why she remains so memorable. Everyone fears the scream before the silence. So, in conclusion, Celtic mythology does not separate beauty from horror. The sea can give life and steal it. The horse can carry you home or drown you. The spirit may save your crops one season and ruin your life the next. These creatures survived on centuries because they carry meaning beyond entertainment. The puka warned against recklessness. The kelpie warned against dangerous waters. The dewar ku embodies fear of the unknown lurking below. Selkies explore longing and captivity. The banshee gave voice to grief itself. Even today, these legends endure because they still feel strangely close. Fog still rolls across the lonely roads. Lakes still hide their depths. And somewhere in Celtic imagination, the old creatures are still waiting. Maybe beside the shoreline, maybe beneath the black water, and or maybe screaming through the night wind.
Cool.
So that is all I have.
Do you have sources for tonight?
Oh, I do, and I always forget it. Thank you. Let me bring them up from my notes because I was smart and I saved them. So, some sources are www.wildernessireland.com/blog/Irish folklore puka. Scroll down to the next one. www.irishcentral.com/roots/Ireland's hound Duwarku. folklorescotland.com/kelpies. And then www.wildernessireland.com/blog/Irish folklore/banshee.
Cool. I
Thank
have
you guys, because I will always forget.
a bonus slide for you.
Yes.
This is a monument called the Kelpies. It's by Andy Scott, located in Helix Park in Falkirk, Scotland. They're about 100 feet tall. They're 600 tons of steel. And it is the sculptures represent the Scottish water spirits and honor the heavy horse-powered industrial heritage of the area. But so, thanks to obviously Bert and Heather for
Yes,
sharing this
thank
with us.
you.
I think it's pretty cool, so I wanted to share it with everybody. But yeah, it's a beautiful monument, huge.
I have a friend that goes to Scotland, like I think yearly, and he always gets photos of these statues. I think they're so cool, and I'm pretty sure at night they light up.
Cool. They are the world's largest horse sculptures.
Perfect.
So cool. Should we go back through all these slides one at a time and
Discuss each one? Yeah.
Yeah. And Jamie, I could tell you were taking notes throughout the night.
Well, sure, as I always do. Well, I forget things otherwise. So
Yeah.
the one, the one thing, with Puka is like the first. You talk about the stumbling out of the tavern kind of thing, and I can only imagine two dudes came stumbling out. One saw the horse, the other one's like, "Wow, look at that!" And the first guy said, "Hold my pint, I'll be right back. Watch this."
Watch this. This looks like a wild horse. Let me get on them.
Ooh, yeah, and therefore, right? It's one hell of a story. It's all of these, and I'm going to kind of generalize here on this, but all of these are in the traditional sense of folklore, story based, and there's a tale, like an outcome of expectancy. Here, it is just be careful, obviously be wary, but in the sense of it, it's in the teller has the turn of that intent of the story, like what they want you not to do, or how they modify your behavior in a certain way, and water is dangerous, so things are scary in the water, don't go in it, and or near it, and animals are dangerous, so don't go near them, they could harm you. All of this, and the banshee is probably the only true exception to that physicalness, because it is uniquely different, but these physical things, and I found it really interesting that they all kind of have like that cautionary tale about them.
Now, Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there a Central American version of the
La
Puka?
Lorna. Yeah,
Okay.
there's a couple things actually, and it made me think of, with the Duarku, it made me think of the Kushkata in Alaska.
Oh,
We talked about during the
yeah.
Alaska Triangle episode.
Mm-hmm.
An otter-like man draws people into the wilderness, and their call there is the sound of like a crying baby or a small child crying, and that plays on people's hearts to investigate what that could be. They want to help someone, and then they are captured or taken by the entity and then drowned in a water body nearby, never to be seen again. So there is this kind of element in lots of places around the world, and they all, I think, at least, if you take it from the folklorist perspective, they're all cautionary tales to keep you away from a place. And the more fantastic something sounds, as far as surreal or supernatural, the more you're going to remember it, because it's just that unique story, and that's kind of part of what I think some of this is as well, like the fact that a horse could be a mythical creature kind of thing, or some combination of creature could exist that would do so. But also, it's the fact that it's a real thing in the world, so you're never sure which one it is.
Right.
So you always have to be cautious. Sorry, I took a lot of time there with you.
No.
Where you guys at on this? At least on Puka?
I mean, again, I think it's the same in many cultures. You've got this cautionary tale with a directed outcome. Stay away from these. Stay away from you know, don't get drunk and jump on a horse. Yeah. So
I think with this one, I like because it's a sprite. It's part of the Fae, and there's a big thing with the Fae of you don't mess with the Fae because they're going to use your fear and everything for entertainment. And I feel like that is the puka of like, you made this choice. Now here's my entertainment.
right.
Yep.
And I always feel like, again, Ren Fair, we're taught about the history of the Fae and everything. There's always more than just one Fae around. So it's probably like they're like, it's just their movie. It's their TV show. They're watching this. I don't, I don't know. I feel like the puka is probably my, like, out of the 5 that I picked, Kelpie's my favorite, but this one is just very fun to me with the puka.
Okay. All right. So then the Duarku.
I don't want, if this thing is real, I don't ever want to run into it.
Well, hold
I
on
love,
though.
I love otters.
But
I would see it and I would want to pet it and then realize my choices were wrong.
well, that's probably fair. But the story that you've shared, in but there's always two. I'm gonna go total nerd here. It reminds me of Star Wars. I mean, it might be Sith. Um, there's always two.
Mm-hmm.
So, but with that, the first one was killed, and then the second one was killed, coming to avenge the first one. So they are therefore not supernatural. They are physical, and
Mm-hmm.
if they can, that's interesting because nothing else speaks to that along the way.
No.
There's, and there may not be a need to know of other ones that can be killed because they don't have the malintent to harm you.
Right.
But it's a very curious thing that someone was able to take one out or two out in this case. I
It's
guess I got
impressive
that going
that,
for you. So
yeah, it's impressive that not just one that they took out, two.
Mm-hmm.
that guy
I
wasn't buying any
also,
pints anytime soon, right?
yeah. I mean, I also like that the story was of an actual woman, and her grave has a depiction of this creature.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
That to me is interesting because it's almost like, how do you explain her death then? Like, how do you explain? Like, I don't know. That wording was wrong. All right, like people could be like, well, obviously she died by an otter. There's no way an otter would actually somehow kill someone, but her grave is showing a big one.
Right.
Look, I'm going to be the devil's advocate here and say
Do
that
it.
based on the timeline of the story, this was a long time ago.
1772.
Right. So a lot of things have happened between then and now, and as stories may grow and expand and nurture into something more than they were, perhaps someone has gone back to the site and created
Oh.
created this in the spirit of that story to give it more. And this is where the line gets blurred in folklore. Like, there's always a root to the story. There's something. But and it's the telephone game or whisper down the lane or whatever you want to call it. The variations. The story gets told and told and told, and every time it's told, it's changed somewhat, and a little bit here, a little bit there. Every time it gets done, it becomes something much different by the time it's done, and into current years. So perhaps someone has gone by to that location and made an upgrade, for lack of a better way of saying it,
Yeah.
to the site. And I'm sure it is an homage in some way and meant to be good, not in fun or jest, but or someone who truly believed the story to be true and was able to do so. It's just cool. Either way, it's cool. Let's hear
Yeah.
we are talking about it.
Yeah. Chad.
I'm trying to find the carving on the stone. So
Yeah,
I think it's cool. So
I couldn't find any of that.
so cool. So then on to the Kelpie.
I just like the Kelpie. She probably tripped over it and hit her head. That's how an otter is going to kill someone, by tripping them.
Yep. Yeah, Bert's comment is she probably tripped over it and hit her head on a rock.
Oh, well, okay. So you know how otters, like, when they go to like open up clams and stuff to eat, trip
Sure.
the woman, you bash the shell on the head to try and open it up.
Maybe.
That's how.
Maybe.
That's how.
Sure.
Anyway, Kelpie.
Wow.
All my episodes get unhinged, Jamie.
Yeah, I'm well. Most of all of ours do. So
Me
at some
too.
point, we
We're-
lose our rails.
We're going to call you Steve Dills next. That's
Yes.
Aw.
Could you okay, real quick? Could you imagine
That's a
Steve Dills
compliment.
and I on an episode? Like, you guys aren't around. It's just him and I. That is 4 hours of everything.
Yeah, easy. Absolutely.
Anyway.
All right. Well, look, you had me here, okay? And I'm aware of the Kelpie. You know, like we've talked about it before, and you know, all of this stuff seems somewhat plausible. Like there's a horse, you know, you get on and it takes off on you, kind of thing. Now, running you into water and drowning you, that's the cautionary tale, right? That's the part that says don't do it. That's your warning shot,
Mhm.
you know. But you got me with they can be captured and subdued, but with the use of a magic bridle.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on.
So I
Really?
didn't know about the magic bridle until about 4 years ago. The Ren Fair always does a Halloween scenario for the month of October.
Mm-hmm.
And that year it was the Kelpie. And the way that the Kelpie, because the whole Kelpie thing was he was going to drown everyone in the Shire at the Ren Fair. The way that they stopped him was by getting a magic bridle. I had no idea that that is how you captured a Kelpie until the director was like, yeah, here it is. And it was a cheap bridle that they painted gold. I'm like, it's magical because now we're gold. But I kind of like that there is a way to stop them.
So road trip to find out if it works.
Yeah, I'll get a bridle and we'll see if it's magical.
I got one very important question here. Where does one acquire a magic bridle?
You know,
Is it? Do you go to Bridles R Us? Is it?
Go to
some other
Dover
place?
Saddlery.
Is it
Or-
is like the back of a van down the alley? I mean,
or is it because you believe it's magical? It is like some of the other charms that we've talked about.
Yeah.
That could
Or,
be it. Okay.
It has power because you've thought power into it.
yeah.
Okay. I'll work with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know in case I need one.
You just want bridles or us, don't you?
It might be a thing. It might be. It might have to be a thing now.
Jamie's going to create a shop called Bridles R Us that just sells magical bridles.
It's,
Stefan said they're at the Ren Fair.
yeah, and at the Ren Fair, right? Sorry, I clicked as well. I apologize. So, there it is.
You know what? Yeah. Just go to a Ren Fair and ask for a magical bridle.
I'm sure it's legit.
Someone will pull one out.
Don't ask the price, just ask for it.
Just ask for it.
And I'm sure no matter which Ren Fair you'll go to, somebody will sell you one.
Fair
And
enough.
Bert
No, I'll
says you
just-
get a magical bridle from a leprechaun.
I can always just email the production staff at the Ren Fair and go, I need the magical bridle, and they'll
Mhm.
instantly know what it is, and they'll go to the barn that has all the props and get the magical bridle.
All right. I'm good.
All right, let's move from the
Well,
Kelpie to
if
the
we're road tripping, we're taking it with us. That's all I'm
Well,
saying.
yeah, of course.
Okay.
We need a big bridge if we're on a road trip. We may have to fly this one though.
Well, whatever. You know.
Fly trip.
So let's move from the Kelpie to the Selkie. What do you think here?
Whew. It makes me sad. You know,
Yeah.
the story that you shared at least, and I'm sure there are variants of that. You know, where someone was kept against their will, perhaps. You know, and that's a cautionary tale there as well. You know, about I'll call it lust, but love and lust kind of thing, and the difference and the boundaries of things. But um, the joy in the story is the freedom to go back where they're from, you know, and the perhaps that you can always go home
Mm-hmm.
as well, you know, back to where you want to be or to your place of joy. So I think I like that part of it. At least for me, that's how I took it. Um, you know, and there was goodness in there with children and other things, you know, because that's great too. But um, it's fairly yeah, and um, I'm hoping this is a typo.
I really hope it's a
Um,
typo.
yeah, sorry, Jen, I was clicking it too. But Bert said the selfie is a depressing tale. I believe the term is selkie.
Yeah,
I'm
he
going to
gave
go
it
with
a typo.
a typo on that. There's the clarity. Okay, got you, Bert. Yeah, I agree. It is depressing, but at least it does in this story sense has a happy ending for the selkie.
It does. Um, I remember reading a little bit of this tale too of the kids would always be playing at the like on the shoreline, and there would always be a seal kind of out in the water watching them, and it's hinting that that was the mother watching them, which I'm like, well, that's still sweet that she's still going to check on our kids.
Mm-hmm.
If they did something good, did she go?
I hope so.
That's a visual, folks. I'm sorry, it was me seal clapping, but
I hope so. No, this is one when I was reading through the Selkie, I'm like, I feel like they just want to be left alone. Like they, out of all of the Celtic, out of the five, this is the one that's sort of like they just want to be on their own. They're not here to cause doom and gloom. They just want to exist.
just doing her own thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd still want to pet one on the head though. Just pet a seal.
All right. Moving on to the banshee.
Yeah, I don't have much here.
I'll pet a banshee. Yeah.
No. Probably not a good idea. Um, you know, I don't have much here because I think we all know we know of the banshee. Like it's a pop culture thing to some degree. Um, and oh, Bert, put it up. Comment. LOL. Mom said they played with a beach ball too. Yeah. All right. I got it. Good seal joke.
Okay.
Oh, boy. I liked him better when he was in Scotland.
Oh, we miss you, Bert.
We did. Welcome home. Banshee has been around for a long time. You know, it's in part of a somewhat degree of pop culture. You know, it's in a lot of shows and presentations, especially the supernatural shows. You know, of all kinds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the harbinger of fate is how I've heard it called. You know, and because you can't outrun your fate, whatever it's going to be, it is. And this is your last warning, if you will. Which I think is kind of cool. You know, and there's all kinds of things we hear when people are about to pass, you know, like they see the light, you know, we hear that a lot, but, you know, they hear bells, you hear that occasionally. But the scream, you know, is another version of that kind of moment of truth and knowledge that your fate is near. So I think it's interesting that we have that, that place of it to be your doom or your end, like some way of knowing. And I don't know if that's important or not. I guess depends on the person, but there may be some comfort in knowing, or maybe some effort to outrun it. I don't know, but you can't seem to. It's pretty heavy,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's interesting, you know, that the banshee is a woman, you know, because women bring life, and in this case, brings death. That's a full circle, as well.
Right. Yeah, like I said, that one's heavier.
Yeah. But I don't know. I I just want to wake up. You know what? I also want to wake up dead.
Yeah, but is it heralding your death, or sometimes it's heralding somebody else's death?
Well, that's what we don't know, right?
Right. So anyway.
I don't
Yeah.
know. There's also a part of me that's like, if I'm hearing a scream and that's meaning I'm going to die soon, at least I'm kind of okay with a terrifying warning. Like, all right, like I hear that scream. All right, it's time.
Well, these days everybody's got earbuds in and noise canceling headphones and all kinds of stuff. So how do you even know if it happened?
Yeah.
That's true.
Interesting.
I mean, if we have Jerry somewhere and he hears the scream, we know it's true.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's definitely happening, right?
It's definitely happening.
Oh my. Oh, Jerry.
God,
Well,
the best piece of equipment I have in investigations is Jerry, because if he goes, "Did you hear that?"
yep.
Yep.
You better have, yeah. Well, if you think about it too, like back in the day, we're talking about, Ireland and Scotland being open spaces,
Mm-hmm.
lots of elevations, sound carrying across distances. So really, it could be anything, and that means that an animal perhaps. It could have been someone calling for you to try to find you if you're out in the open, all kinds of things. But if you're in the home and in your house somewhere safe and sound and you hear it, that's a different thing altogether. And
Mm-hmm.
we always talk about how sound can carry investigations, like public spaces and such. Especially when we do outside things, we have to be wary of where we are because there's just traffic noises, there's other people elsewhere. I used to live along the Susquehanna River, and then on the other side of the river, on top of a very far away hill, there was a event space
Hmm.
at Lomont Farms, and they would have wedding events there all the time. And I would hear people yelling and carrying on, talking in some ways. I definitely hear the DJ playing, at the end of the night for the outdoor venue that they had. Um, and it was amazing to me. I would just be sitting on my porch, probably 2 miles away, but sound carries. So maybe there's something to that that makes it not quite be so heavy. But again, we've tied it to a warning that just like everything else in the folklore sense, this equals that happening,
Hmm.
and maybe it's gotten a bad rap.
Maybe, yeah.
Trying to put a positive spin there so that this comment doesn't feel so bad. So Heather says, "Way to go, Jamie. We're all joking and laughing. Now we're all gloom and doom." Well, and you're welcome, by the way.
So,
Um,
well, but it's interesting how these folklore tales can swing one way and then the other.
yes,
Like
exactly.
it's not all happiness. It's not all gloom and doom. It's peaks and valleys. So
Well, but it's also from and this is what I said in the puka, like the original part of this. It's the intent of the teller, what they want from you.
right.
Whether you want you to be happy or sad or cautioned or whatever it may be. Just to be freaked out in some cases. Everybody likes a ghost story, like a good ghost story.
Hmm.
You know, that's what we sit around campfires and do. Like there's a reason for it. People, whether you I say enjoy, that's probably a relative term, but we know that environment, we know that experience, and
Some of it's the thrill.
yeah, exactly.
Is
So
that living on the edge. So yeah. So,
and you have to make the choice of whether it's real or not for you. And that's a thing too.
hmm so well, cool. So Kirsten, very informative.
Yeah.
Lots of information, so it sounds like there's going to be a part two in the future. So
There
Yeah.
may be a part 2, 3, 4, 5.
well, like we keep
I,
saying, the paranormal never ends.
I originally had 10, and when I was doing my research, I'm like, 10's too much. So we did 5.
Mhm.
Yep.
So
Very cool. Great episode. Thank you.
Thank
This was
you.
really fun.
yeah. So speaking of the other fun things coming up next week, season 3, episode 45. Can you believe that? We'll be up to 45. Mount Vernon, Haunting the Home of Washington. There are lots of layers to Mount Vernon. It is one of those mansions that started out small, and they just kept building. And it wasn't George Washington's originally. It goes back generations and lots of stories. And it's a plantation, so some of the things we talked about with the plantation last week, we're dealing with here. So lots to look forward to. May 26th at 9 p.m. We'll be talking about that. Other things coming up. June 2nd, Mercy Brown, Vampire Victim. Jamie, that'll be all you. Can't wait to hear. June 9th, I can't believe we're talking about June already, but June 9th, The Shadows of Yokai, Spirits of Japanese Folklore. Kirstin will take that on. June 16th, I will be taking on the Crescent Hotel, Where the Cure Becomes the Curse. So yeah. June 23rd, we're going fishing. No, we're not going fishing. The Fresno Nightcrawler. Jamie will be taking that on. It's looking like Alex will be a special guest host that night because I'm on a trip with a bunch of theater kids.
Okay.
So Alex, we're hoping will jump in and help out with the tech side of things. And I'll be watching, I'll be watching a show, one or the other. So, but anyway, so Fresno Nightcrawler then. June 30th, Ashmore Estate History and Experiences, because Kirstin will have come back from a trip.
Yeah, I'm doing my first solo investigation, guys. It's not really solo; it's a public, but it's without the team.
So and that June 30th will wrap up season 3, guys. Can you believe it?
Oh man, time just flies.
So the week after that would be June 7th, and we're going to be taking a break, taking some time to reset, and then we'll be into season 4.
Wow.
So exciting things.
Neat.
And looking at there's definitely some cool stuff coming up in season 4. So stay tuned. But if you want to reach out and be in touch with us, check things out at www.Jott-Nyx That's the team website. You can check things out there. There's links to all sorts of stuff. If you want to be in touch with us, hit us up at info@paranormal-lens.com. You can email us, tell us what you liked about episodes, what you don't like about episodes, what you want us to do. We love listener submissions. We will take those and research them and present something for you. Linktree.com. Linktree, not linktree.com. Linktree is where you can find more links for the team. And that's linktr.ee/paranormal lens. You can check out our social medias. You can check out our store. We have a new shirt up. We have the new host shirt up. Check that out. See what that's all about. And if you want to support what we do, there's Buy Me a Coffee. It's buymeacoffee.com/paranormal9. That just helps defray some of the costs that we're putting into the show. We're going to be here one way or the other, but it's nice if everybody can chip in and help out and defray some costs for us. But lots going on out there. Guys, any more thoughts on tonight?
Well, I'm going to try to find a magic bridle and just keep it here at the house just in case. But other than that, really, really cool episode. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I know how this goes, from experience of my own, trying to, pare down like urban legends and, that's how there's 3 episodes already, because it's a lot, and we did an international edition of it, and I could do another of that, just because there's so many everywhere. So even isolating this into, the Celtic lands of Ireland and Scotland and the UK in general, it's not like a one-off. So, really great job to get it started and keep it coming.
Mm-hmm. This is all on you, Kirstin. You get those. We're not going to take your thunder.
I want to say I'm still. Once we finish up the season, next season, I'm going to start trying to also incorporate some of, the U.S. cryptids. There's 50 of them.
Mm-hmm.
At minimum.
At
50.
minimum, yes. Yeah. I'm going to do the shark that, like, literally is in the middle of the United States.
So,
I know what you mean. Yes.
Exactly.
Cool. I'll bring them on. That's great.
But yeah, let me go look up in the attic. I got like 5 bridles up there, so maybe one of them's magical.
I was gonna say one of them's probably a magical bridle then.
Exactly.
Whew.
So, all right. Well, it is. We've gone over an hour, so we should probably wrap things up. And I've got to wrap things up because I got to start packing all this so I can move it so I can be up and running for next Tuesday.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's a whole different story. So, on that thought, maybe these cryptids are nothing more than ancient stories carried through time, or maybe somewhere in the mist-covered hills and dark waters of the Celtic lands, something still waits to be discovered. Stay respectful, stay alert, stay respectful, and stay curious. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.